would you bring us up, please?
You're up, Commissioner.
Okay, Bannock County Board of County Commissioners is now in session, and I don't see any adjustments to the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we accept the agenda as posted.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And our first item of business is indigent business.
Chantel Latulu with Indigent Services. The case that I have before you today is case number 2023-0024. It's an application for cremation expenses submitted through Wilkes Funeral Home in the amount of $1,200. The application was submitted by the funeral home. All of the information was obtained from the funeral home as well as the county coroner. There was no information found on the state's website. The deceased was a 70-year-old female, a 76-year-old female. She lived by herself at the time of her passing. She is a Bannock County resident, was not a veteran. With the information that we did obtain, it does appear that she meets all criteria to be eligible for assistance through the indigent program. Bannock County does appear to be last resource for payment of this request, and there is no responsible party available for repayment of this request at this time.
So,
Oh, yes.
as we move forward, are we going to be responsible for cremations all along?
Yep.
So that's what I remember, but I just
Yes.
was hoping.
And I do have one release of lien for signature for account that has been paid off.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on on case number two, parcel.
BOE on the
Case number 2023-0024, I make a motion that we approve the request.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Wes?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Les Jones, Emergency Management. And we're here to talk about the Wildland Urban Interface burn ban and resolution. And you wanted input from Brian's office, I should say, for the authorities of the commission as compared to the authorities of the fire district commissioners. And I didn't hear anything back from Brian, so
And we didn't ask about the commissioners. We asked about the fire chiefs. And the fire chiefs, I talked to Brian. Has he talked to you about it at all?
No.
I talked to Brian,
Glad you talked to him.
and he says that what he looked up, they don't have any authority. The legislative authority. So my thought was we just put this fire ban, not to most parts of Bannock County, but to all of Bannock County. Then the sheriff, I talked to him too, he says his deputies have to know this district is on a ban and this district's on a ban, not, well, is this one or this one, or none of them. So he says for his people, it would be a lot better that if we did it as the commissioners and made a ban on the whole county. That's conversations I had with both of them. Any comments?
Well, it does make it easier for enforcement, and it's a lot cleaner that way. So I would think it should be a countywide.
So we just have to change the top line here where it says will be in place for most parts of Bannock County to all of Bannock County.
okay. Yeah, and there was some other things that we needed to update in there because the resolution itself was incomplete once you get down to the seventh paragraph. It just stops. And then we left out the portion about the burn pits and the code for that. So I think we need to have that in there on the resolution.
Okay.
So those are easy fixes, I think. And once you get it signed, I get it disseminated to public information officers and get it sent out.
Yeah. Well, I saw Income on Facebook, they put out that on the 15th there'd be a burn ban. So that's the conversations I had, so I think that we move forward with it as a whole of Bannock County, proclamation by the commissioners,
Okay, can do.
and work with Amy on the wording. you know, on the proclamation so that
Okay.
it's correct.
I'll get
actually.
the press release sent out, and then, once I get the signed resolution, I can disseminate that to the fire district.
So if we could sign that on Thursday, the resolution as a whole. That's what I'd think, since we don't have the resolution made up before us to sign today.
Okay, that works for me.
All right,
Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right.
Anything else from you?
No, sir.
All right.
We're golden.
Thank you, Wes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Braden's not here. Oh, there he is.
He's as big as a house, Ernie.
Well, I read his name, and I'm sorry.
He's just used to it.
Did you really think he wasn't here?
I didn't even notice, honestly.
Okay, thanks, Ernie. Appreciate that.
I forgot his name, actually.
You morphed into both spots.
You're just so.
All right, Braden, you're up.
All right, Braden Clayson, Chief of Staff.
I had to go introduce myself to him the other day.
Yeah, he did. It's been a while since we'd seen each other in the wild, so. I have before you this morning just a licensing agreement with ISU for the forensic pathology lab and the space that we're partnering with them to use. It basically mirrors the MOU that we signed last October with the additional line at the end there, talking about termination. Other than that, nothing on this has been updated outside of what you've all reviewed already. And we will get this signed and get back up to the universities as soon as we're ready.
Okay. And talking about the determination, because of the conversations that we've had, I don't want to start any construction until we're guaranteed that we're going to have a doctor. So, and that's in here. So, but with President Satterley departing,
Yeah,
they're a little anxious.
yeah, at the end of the year.
So,
When is President Satterley departing?
At the end of this year.
Oh, at the end of the year?
Mm-hmm.
The calendar year or the fiscal year?
End of this calendar year,
Calendar.
December 31st.
Okay, I thought he was staying for the fiscal year, okay.
No.
So I would suggest we hold off on signing this agreement at the time for the same reasons that you mentioned about construction.
okay. Okay.
What's ISU's push if we don't do this or do this?
They are pretty insistent that they get it back, because we've worked back and forth with their legal counsel and Brian on this probably about a month, 2 months now. Maybe probably in a month and a half, I'd say, just to sit in between. But they asked again about it yesterday, once I shared the blueprints from the architectural group. So they're pretty anxious to get it back, which is, I think, why we added that last line in there, just to cover us in case we don't start any construction or demolition or modify that space in any way. But I know they're itching to get it back. They would like to see a signed version of it.
And have you sent it back to him with this last?
Yeah. So that was something that Nick was on vacation, so he wasn't able to review it, but he just said to get it sent back, and I don't see there being any issue with that.
Okay.
So if we sign this and we get to October and we don't have a doctor and we decide to change our minds, we're out, no harm, no foul.
I believe so, with the termination clause in there. Yeah, if you want to wait on signing it, I can communicate with them and we can have them review it once more, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, but
Another question, has legal reviewed this?
Yes.
In light of clause 24, and they agree with that analysis?
that's Brian's wording right there, termination. Yeah, he wrote this, so.
Okay. Well, why don't we send it back to him with that line first?
Okay.
And then we'll,
Okay, I'm all right.
All right, we can do that.
all right.
Thank you.
Hey, it's good to have you.
see you.
Sorry about that. All right, Christie.
Okay, Krista Clauser, Comptroller. The first item I have for you is just the signature on the Title II monetary allocation for the Secure schools. I believe you have that in front of you. It just allocates that we're going to receive the lump sum payment, well, not the lump sum payment, but the I threw that election away, that we're gonna receive it on the dollar amount that they give us, not the average. And then also opting for Title II funds, and you were gonna do 20%?
It says 25
Says
here.
25%, sorry, 25%.
Okay.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any comments, questions?
On the SRS funds, did we get additional funds like the PILT funds, or is that the same?
Those are different.
Okay, I thought they were different, but I didn't know
Secure
if we
rural
got.
schools monies are different than the PILT funds.
Okay, okay, because when I went back there, we were talking about both, so I couldn't remember if they were tied together or not.
They kind of talk about them together a little bit, just because it's all federal monies
Correct,
for forest lands,
okay,
but they're different.
okay. I could not remember this morning when I was looking at this.
We're restricted on uses for the secure rural schools money,
Correct.
but we are not on the PILT money.
Yeah, the PILT has to be, or this SRS is on federal land.
Yeah, and that we use, that money goes toward bridge. We have to allot a certain portion of the schools, and then we have to give some of the money to Downey Swan Lake.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the election to receive payment allocation as presented.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item I have is acceptance of the second quarter 2023 unemployment billing. I can either give you a copy, or I could just speak generally, depending on if you want to go into executive.
Let's go into executive so we talk about it.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we go into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061A and B to discuss personnel.
Is it D?
Oh, it's D, sorry.
That's what I have on my.
Section D, records that are exempt.